I will call this meeting of the Riverside Township Board of Trustees to order. Please rise, and Trustee Clark, would you please lead the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Carroll.
Present.
Trustee Clark.
Present.
Trustee Heilenbach.
Present.
Supervisor Wilt.
Present.
Let the record note that Clerk Drop is in attendance and Trustee Blau is absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, we have before us the minutes of the public hearing of May 11th. What is your pleasure?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the public hearing for May 11th.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the public hearing of Wednesday, May 11th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. We have the minutes of the regular meeting of May 11th. What is your pleasure there?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of May 11th.
All right. I have a motion by Trustee Heilenbach, seconded by Trustee Carroll, to approve the minutes of the May 11th regular Board of Trustees meeting.
I do have a correction, though, Supervisor Wilt.
Thank you. What would that be?
On page 5, it says the Mental Health Board will also hold a wellness fair. It's a health and wellness fair
Okay.
on June 11th.
That will be corrected. Yes. It became wealth instead of health.
It was a wealth fair.
A wealth
A ton of
fair, yes. Okay. Are there any other additions or corrections? Hearing none, then I have a motion and a second to approve these minutes with the addition. Yes, the second approves the addition as well. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Okay, next is communications.
Yes, I have a letter here from Aging Care Connections thanking us for the grant that we awarded them at the last meeting that is going to impact their programs. And so they say thank you for our support.
Okay, thank you, and that is it?
Yes.
All right, well, thank you for the thank you. And we'll place that on file. I don't see any public present here today, so we can move on to the supervisor's report. Okay, so as far as the bridge is concerned, we are waiting for the bids to come in. They've been published as of May 27th. Final bid questions are due by June 17th, which is a week from Friday, and then the sealed bids are due by Wednesday, June 22nd. I haven't heard anything about whether there have been any inquiries, and I know that we advertised more widely, and also the architect was going to reach out to anyone who had expressed interest before. The audit, we had the auditor in the office all last week, so much of our time was spent responding to document requests, and with 2 years of the audit having been exclusively remotely, we have learned to keep most files electronically, so it was pretty easy to provide everything they needed quite quickly. So that went very smoothly, and I don't anticipate any problems. The clock in the tower, I had a phone meeting last week with Wendell Gissa regarding the clock in the tower, which the Cross family, which were his grandparents, had donated to the township many years ago. He's hoping to do something in their memory and in honor of his parents, hoping to refresh the clock. And so I assured him that it's been running well since our last repairs, but certainly it could use a cosmetic refinish, so I've promised to reach out. I'm not quite sure if any of you have any ideas. I will probably look for some historical restoration type places. I'm going to check with the people who repair the clock mechanically, but this looks to be mostly cosmetic. It just needs the face needs a refresh, and then there's like a ring around the clock that appears to be concrete, so maybe in doing some of the other work on the building, we can incorporate some of that when there'll be cranes and such rising up. But he said there was no hurry, but we had a good conversation about that. There have been a lot of inquiries lately regarding general assistance and emergency assistance. Some I was able to help and some I could not, but as always, I've been working with the CRC to help find any other kind of support we can direct them to. We have had some inquiries about a state fair trip, but I'm still reluctant to load a lot of people into a bus for a 4-hour ride in each direction. I just, with COVID still spreading, I don't really want us to be a super spreader event. So I hope you will agree. So far, we've just been saying, we have not been saying absolutely no, but we've been saying that there's no decision yet, but I'm inclined to say, not this year yet, we'll hold off. If you all
I think
feel comfortable with
a
that.
smart move, Supervisor, will really,
Okay.
I mean, it's the last thing we need is.
I have had, okay, I've had some inquiries from the landmark regarding the bridge, whether we've gotten any grants yet, and I've responded that no, nothing yet. And also, they've inquired a little bit further about our security camera project. They wanted to see what the respective bids were, so I've cooperated with them. He wanted to do a little story about that. And then I wanted to give you all a heads up that I will not be in town for the August board meeting, so I will see to it that all the reports you will need will be provided in plenty of time, but I won't be here to preside, so I've already reached out to Trustee Clark as well as Trustee Blau, because I'm not really sure how, the seniority would work in that. But I do want you to know that is a grant month, but in trying to plan this trip, it was pretty much the only week that we could figure out to do it, so. And that's all I have, but I'd be happy to answer any questions about any ongoing projects or, no? Then we'll move along. I'm sorry? Sure. Okay, trustees' reports. Trustee Carroll, do you have something for us?
Nothing today, no.
Okay. Trustee Clark.
Yes. Just want to say the senior exercise class is continuing to go well. We had 255 participants in the month of May. As part of my role as being on the Board of Directors for the State Trustee Division, I have to attend these educational seminars around the state. So on May 26th, I was in Rockford and served on a panel talking about the role of the trustee. And last night I was in Mount Sterling, Illinois, serving on a panel.
Getting to all the hot spots of the state.
I know.
Wonderful.
Talking about the role of a trustee.
Well, thank you for sharing your knowledge and representing us. Okay. By the way, the exercise classes have still been increasing. June has been even greater, and so we may have to start even not quite turning away people, but restricting it. We've been fairly open with who comes, but if they're not going to be township residents, we're going to probably have to ask them to step back, because today we had over 30.
Oh, my God.
We had 32 people today.
Wow.
Yeah, and so far, I've talked about it with Jerry, and so far, he's had to rearrange it a little bit, because it's almost not so much managing the people, but the space by now. So it's
Right,
getting to be,
yeah.
so he's altering some of the circuit a little bit and trying to find new and innovative ways, but it's been very popular. So thank you for initiating that. It certainly is a very popular thing. Okay, Trustee Heilenbach.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing I have for my report is this Saturday from 10 to 1 at the North Riverside Village Commons Building. We're having the Riverside Township Community Health and Wellness Fair that is being run by our Community Resource Center. This is the first time we're doing it. And I have to say that Susan, Amber, and Chris have done a magnificent job of lining up vendors. We have well over 20 vendors. We will be having some raffles to entice the people. Our local police departments have agreed to give us their officers that are in charge of senior liaisons. They will be there. North Riverside Fire Department will be there doing blood pressure screenings for anybody that would like it. We have some refreshments. So we have a couple of sponsors that have donated these raffle prizes, and I'm hoping for a good turnout, and I hope to see you guys there at least for a minute or two or for an hour, just to build the attendance a little bit. But like I said, this is our first time, and I know Susan's real nervous about it. We've talked, I think, every day for the last 2 weeks about stuff, so I'm looking forward to it, and I think this is going to be a good program for the township. And that concludes my report.
I might highlight also that the CRC was at the Brookfield Farmers Market last weekend as well.
That's correct.
And apparently that went well. They had some inquiries.
Yeah, they had some inquiries at the Brookfield Farmers Market.
Yes.
I'll be there on their next appearance, which I believe is not this weekend, but next weekend. I think they're there twice a month,
Okay,
which is really nice. Where in the Riverside Farmers Market, I believe they're only going to be there twice.
yeah, I think they're limiting it because they
Yeah.
have so many organizations to
Right.
rotate, but Brookfield has a little larger
Yeah,
space.
a little
so-
larger space, right.
Right. Well, that's good. I'm glad that they're getting out there, and I was happy. We brainstormed a little bit with Susan as well to
Yeah.
try to find some vendors and such.
Supervisor Welch.
Yes.
I've read in several places that the township is hosting a blood drive tomorrow.
So we're hosting it in terms of providing the space. It actually came out of the Riverside Library.
Okay.
Yes, there is a blood drive tomorrow, and I think it's a walk-in. So, yes, the library had a patron who several months ago came really wanting to do it, and they said, we don't have the space. They reached out to us, said, I have no problem with it. If you're, if it's a community event, we won't charge. It's during the day and all. It's on a regular work day. So yes, there is a drive here in the auditorium. It was actually several months in the planning because the Red Cross had to come out, look at the location, make sure that it all works. I had no doubt, since we host the Lifeline here all the time, that they'd be able to do that, but it worked out. And sorry, I've been so uninvolved in it, other than to say, sure, you can use our space, that I don't always think about it. So that's the extent of our sponsorship in that regard. Okay. Trying to think, there was something else that was recently noted that we were sponsors, and no, I guess that's it. All right. Thank you for that inquiry. Any other questions? Then we will move along to the unfinished business. As I already said, there's really nothing new regarding the swinging bridge repairs. We're still waiting to hear on any grant possibilities and so forth. Under new business, we have now heard from all 3 villages. We are in possession of the beads for distribution. I sent all the applications to all the villages that have asked for them. The only one who needs additional information is Brookfield, and I've asked those who will be driving there to provide that information. So I think we're all set. We just will need to determine who goes where, because obviously Riverside is the first, and then we have to split up for the other 2. And the renovation of the town hall building clock, that I already addressed in my report, but if any of you, as I said, have any thoughts on who might work with that kind of thing. If you know another building where some work like that was done, I would appreciate any information about vendors. Actually, let me double back. I mentioned that that I've had conversation with the Landmark about the cameras for the building, and I do want to let you know, in case you're wondering how that's progressing, that there was a delay. Like everything else, there's a supply chain issue, but I understand now they've finally been able to order, and they anticipate that delivery, so it should be done this summer, but I'm not sure when. And they are also working with the village regarding any landmark, historical preservation kind of issues on the outside cameras.
Beautiful.
Okay. Again, we've already addressed in the mental health report, the Community Resource Center Health and Wellness Fair. We do hope that all of you and all the people in the community will stop in to see. We've tried to have a broad spectrum. There's the wellness, fitness, health resources. Holistic, yes. All kinds
Yoga.
of different kinds of things, yes. So hopefully, everybody will find something they can appreciate there. And we appreciate the Village of North Riverside working with us on that. Are there any other questions about anything before we move on to our warrants? Then, Trustee Heilenbach, would you like to present our warrants?
Trustee Heilenbach moves that the board authorize and ratify payment of the bills identified on the general warrant for June of 2022 in the amount of $19,351.85 as presented to the board the 8th day of June 2022.
Second.
Okay, that motion, you had the corrected one, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So I have a motion by trustee Heilenbach, second by trustee Clark, to approve the following general warrants in the amount of $19,351.85. Is there any discussion, any questions? If not, then Clerk Drapka, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Carroll. Yes. Trustee Clark.
Yes.
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
Motion by trustee Heilenbach that the board ratify and authorize payment of the amounts indicated on the following warrants. The utility warrant for June of 2022 in the amount of $1,601.32. The payroll warrant for June of 2022 in the amount of $19,393.83. The health warrant for 2022 in the amount of $2,199.37. Grants for June of 2022 in the amount of $20,100. General assistant warrant for June 2022 in the amount of $3,029.89. Township radio players warrant for June 2022 in the amount of $200. And the food pantry warrant for 2022 in the amount of $1,683. All of the above is presented to the board this 8th day of June 2022.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? I have a motion by trustee Heilenbach, seconded by trustee Carroll, to approve the following warrants for June of 2022. The utility warrant in the amount of $1,601.32. Payroll in the amount of $19,339.83. The health warrant in the amount of $2,199.37. The grants warrant in the amount of $20,100. General assistance warrant in the amount of $3,029.89. The township radio players warrant in the amount of $200, and the food pantry warrant in the amount of $1,683. Are there any questions? By the way, the food pantry is so large because I got cash to redeem the vouchers at the farmer's market.
All right.
If there are no other questions, then Clerk Drapko, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Carroll.
Yes.
Trustee Clark.
Yes.
Trustee Heilenbach.
Yes.
Supervisor Wilt.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. That concludes our agenda. What is your pleasure?
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Clark, seconded by trustee Heilenbach, to adjourn this meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Motion is carried.